Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, October 9th, 2024 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I align my peace with the peace of the divine. And today we have Jupiter going retrograde, but I want to say beforehand, just sending good vibes for Milton to chill out and peace out. Okay? That's my stance. Let's dig into this astro. We have Jupiter going retrograde today, and I've literally had a song playing in my head almost all day. I think it's Wookiee Foot, and it's perfect. The line that keeps playing in my head literally all day, just over and over and over. There's no way out, but there's a way in. And you're it is the second part that it plays. And this is the thing with Jupiter retrograde or any retrograde. Any retrograde is a call to go within. It's a call to return to center, return to self, to review. So we have Jupiter retrograde. Hi, Luchis. Meow. From now until February 4th, I believe, in Gemini. It begins at 21 degrees Gemini, which we talked about yesterday, and I actually didn't look to see what degree it's going to, so let's go to my cheat sheet that I do at the beginning of the year. It goes back to 11 degrees Gemini. How interesting, to that master degree. And so this is the call for Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, is to look inside. Now, one of the challenges that I mentioned with Jupiter retrograde was all the information that's always swirling out there in the world, on social media, on the news, media and anything, through gossip and conversations. It's very overstimulating. And it's like, do I believe this or do I believe that? And it's interesting because it seems like a lot of people decide to believe whatever goes with, where their belief system is. Not necessarily what the truth is, because it's really hard to know what the truth is when there's so many things being spouted on this end and this end, and then over here, and then this wild card over here. It can be really just mind-boggling. And so Jupiter retrograde in the sign of Gemini is a reminder that we can get our source, our energy, our news, what we need to know directly from source. And that catastrophe stuff happening over there. She knocked over all my books. She's like, forget the books. Stop reading the books. Thank you, Lucci. The Taurus is very practical. Stop reading the books. Source it from source. Listen to yourself. Tune out, tune in. Because if you tune so much in what's happening, it is crazy making. Now, I always feel like everything in balance is good. I think it's good to have a finger on the pulse of what's unfolding, because I think we can also see a lot of reflections of ourselves. But to make a point regularly to tune in, to look within, to get those answers within, to stop outsourcing is so important. And this to me is the highlight of this Jupiter retrograde. Essentially for, 5.5 months. This happens every year. This retrograde, not in this sign, but Jupiter goes retrograde for this long every year. It's not sensational. This is just part of the cosmic unfolding. But this one in particular is asking you to look within, to connect with your mind within. There's no way out, but there's a way in, and you're it. So, there's that. Now, again, just because a planet is retrograde doesn't mean that the benefits stop. Jupiter is a planet of abundance and good things and luck and benevolence, and that doesn't go away. That's all still there. But again, my feeling is that we're being asked to align with our own luck and our own goodness, which means practice more gratitude and blessings and mental alignment for the things that you would like to align with in your life. This is a beautiful opportunity for change. So at the top of the cards, what do I have? I have the change card, but it's in reverse because it's internal. The internal, specifically mental changes with Jupiter and Gemini that you are making could bring about beautiful change. Is it going to be happening necessarily throughout this time? It could. For sure, it could. Things happen during a retrograde. The world doesn't stop. The universe doesn't stop. But this might be a longer haul because I think this is a larger lesson that we're being called to make, to align with a new vision for a new path for whole retrograde, for something new coming about. What do we have? Possibilities. This is the land that we dwell in. Possibilities, good possibilities. What if everything's working out for me? What if even these crazy things that are happening in the world can benefit me and others in wonderful and beautiful ways? It's true, it can, and sometimes it feels bad thinking that, especially when we see how bad some things are, and yet beautiful miracles can still come out of tragedy. And I think we have to hold that dear to us as we experience these energies. So that's part of the work, is shifting your internal mental process through this time. And I also feel like this could feel like a little bit of a Mercury retrograde because it is in the sign of Gemini, and because Mercury was one of the last connections that Jupiter made. Mercury and Chiron were the ones making these strong connections right before this retrograde. So Mercury, again, reiterating the process of the mind. Mercury in Libra being like, let's find a balanced mind. Wouldn't that be nice? Chiron in Aries reminding us to focus kind of on ourselves and bring it internal and recognize the healing that the mind can bring. This has been one of the biggest things on my health journey that I have experienced over and over. How much my mental attitude affects whether my health is or whether it's, and sometimes it can be really hard to pull yourself out when you're, and yet I have found every time that I do that the starts again. My brain works with sound effects, so there you go with that. We still have yads aplenty happening, including this Venus-focused yad, specifically feeling that, which is again reminding us to lean into the yin and lean into our intuition, and reminding us that it is still okay. I think this is one of the things with that a lot of people get tripped up with, you know, when it comes to positivity and uplifting your mind and all that. You don't have to be there 100% of the time, especially when you're lying to yourself. You cannot lie to yourself. I cannot lie to myself. I am not allowed to. I cannot. You've sometimes got to go to those places, right? The key is not sticking there. It's knowing, having enough discernment. I think discernment is definitely a big keyword for all of these astro energies right now. To know when I have wallowed, I have felt what I needed to feel, I have felt the grief, I have felt all these things, and now I'm ready to lean towards the light again. You know, we need rain sometimes, we need stormy weather sometimes, and yet we also grow when the light comes back. So keep that in mind through this time, that sometimes you're going to have to dive in to where the mind is, you know, pulling you into. This Venus yod is continuing. Again, yod is finger in the sky, being like, this is important. Venus in Scorpio. Recognizing that your self-care, your self-love requires that you be intimate with yourself, meaning look at those fears and be like, wow, I have this fear of mortality, or I have this fear of volcanoes, or this fear of lack that like kind of is always this cloud in the corner that I need to look at. Where's this root? This, I think Jupiter in Gemini is going to be great for pulling those inner weeds or the inner, storm clouds that kind of like hover. I think that it's going to be a really great time for that. So the day is overall quiet. I will say that if you are a Sagittarius or a Gemini, that you may feel this retrograde. It might feel a little strong for you, this energy. You may for a few days just kind of power down a little bit. That's great. That's part of pulling inside. My phone is ringing. I don't even know where it is. Oh, it's not my phone. That's why I don't know where it is. All right. So, the other thing that we have going on is the moon shifting into Capricorn. Now, Capricorn energy is very pragmatic, which I think is going to help. Capricorn can help support our discipline to affirm everything that I've been saying, to affirm looking within, and shifting these mental energies. So I love that we have the moon in Capricorn. Now the moon in Capricorn will connect to the nodes today, but that's basically the only thing that it's doing. It's squaring the nodes. And so leaning into that discipline, where do you need to look to yourself? Where do you need to honor yourself? And where are you still choosing outside peace instead of internal peace? Internal peace is where all other peace in your life generates from. So this is important. This is like your peace generator. And so connecting in there is going to be important. But sometimes the world is like, no, peace over here. Give all your peace over there. What is the word that I'm looking for? Sacrifice yourself. You don't have to sacrifice yourself. The world is better when you recognize what true peace. This is not it's not about selfishness. It's just finding that true peace within yourself. So I did show you the cards, but I'm going to show you once again. Internal change. Shifting our vision. But again, allowing it to take time. This doesn't have to be overnight. We got 5.5 months. It's going to open new doors, bring about new manifestations. Just not yet, right? And that's fine. This is part of the process. But hold space for those beautiful possibilities, because you can align with these energies. Divine Abundance card, Divine Love. When you offer everything to the divine with detachment, you begin a love affair with spirit. And I think more so than trying to manifest, I will win the lottery and $1 million. Being okay, well, the universe is helping me align with the money that I need and want and desire in my life. And so it is, okay. And then let the universe work for you. Just one example of many. So I'm going to leave that there for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. You can book a mini reading too if you want. And besides all that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and remember who you are, for you are the solution. Namaste.